The Information Security Summit, and welcome here to the beautiful La Center Conference Facility in Westlake, Ohio for the 23rd annual gathering of us fellow security nerds. That's right, that's what we proudly call ourselves, and we are about to do a live on-stage presentation of Security Friends. This smattering of rip and read news stories is dedicated to you, security professionals, the unsung heroes of information and cyber security. And I have with me my security friends, starting with Mr. Kevin Baker from Fortress SRM. Yay. Next to him is Matt Schur. We can't tell you where he's from. That is that's classified information. He is from a clandestine company. We cannot talk about it. And next to him is Mr. Joe Daw from IBM. Yay. And Mr. Billy Heiser from American Residential Services. All real security professionals. All of us are CISSPs, just like you. We deal with security issues in our daily world. And speaking of security issues, CISA warns of two more actively exploited Dassault vulnerabilities. The Cybersecurity and Information Security Agency warned that attackers are actively exploiting two vulnerabilities in Dassault's systems. Delmelia, whatever you say, Asperio, yeah, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, Manufacturing Operations Management and Execution Solution. The first one is a critical severity missing authorization security flaw that can allow unauthenticated threat actors to remotely gain privileged access to unpatched application, while the second CVE is a high severity code injection vulnerability that lets attackers with high privileges execute arbitrary code on vulnerable systems. The French company, Dassault Systems, patched the two flaws in early August 2025, but it also confirmed the affected application from release 2020 through release 2025. And this gets more and more difficult to read as we go on. But the battle, as evidenced by this article from Bleeping Computer, against security vulnerabilities, how does anybody keep up with all this stuff?
Well, what's really impressive, though, is that is a manufacturing system that actually has a patch. Most of them are just, once it's delivered, that's what you have and figure it out. So it's impressive that they even patched it.
Good point. Really good point. I mean, manufacturing...
So it's OT. It's OT.
I can't hear you, Kevin. I can't hear you.
So it's OT.
Yes, sir.
Oh, OT.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
OT.
generally,
you down with OT?
Operational
they
technology.
can just segment that and not let anything in and out.
Oh, so that's the solution in manufacturing?
Apparently doesn't work.
Oh, we just wall it off on its VLAN, the giant
network
VLAN that runs the whole company, right?
Yeah.
That one single level network, that's our VLAN, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm impressed that they actually have a patch. Now the challenge is getting manufacturing shop floor downtime to apply and test the patch. Is a whole nother challenge.
Well, they could have tested it yesterday, because speaking of downtime, Amazon Web Services East 1 region in trouble again, with EC2 and container services impacted. Yes, you don't need to do disaster recovery testing, because AWS will bring the disaster to you.
We got a fresh disaster for you every day.
That's right. AWS, which last week caused massive disruption to online services, is having another bad day yesterday as internal dependencies once again proved problematic. At 3:36 p.m. on October 28th, I guess 2 days ago, the Cloud Colossus advised customers...
I like that phrase, the Cloud Colossus. Sounds like
wasn't
something
that
in a Marvel movie.
Wasn't that a movie in the 70s, Colossus?
I think it was.
Yeah, Colossus. Oh, that was the evil computer that wanted to take over the
exactly.
world. Yeah.
And now, apparently, that evil computer
Oh my
is
gosh,
AWS.
it's part of AWS. Oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble.
I knew it.
Amazon throttled some requests for EC2 resources, but said retrying a request should resolve the issue. Another impact of the incident created task launch failure rates for Elastic Container. You know, launch failure considering Colossus is probably a good thing.
A failure to launch.
This is not the outage you're looking
Wasn't there
for.
a movie, A Failure to Launch?
Well, this goes back to the whole, we're all preaching to the choir here, but this goes back to cyber resiliency practices, right? The thing about AWS, and they just laid off a bunch of people, unfortunately. That was unfortunate, but there's multiple regions. I will give credit to AWS. They do have a very good, regional, global model. So if you're worried about these things, you could have a multi-cloud solution where you could fall back to somebody else. The cyber resiliency story doesn't go away no matter who you're using. If you've got your own data centers, or if you're using cloud, or you're doing both, it's just a matter of making sure you have a good strategy for when this stuff happens. It's always going to happen. It's inevitable.
So if you had stuff in AWS and Azure, you'd have been fine yesterday, right?
Is it Azure or Azure? Because when I think of Azure, I think of a steak sauce,
I'm not sure it's Azure.
You're not sure if it's Azure.
I'm bougie, so I say Azure.
It is actually pronounced Azure. There's a whole YouTube video on that, believe it or not. It's actually pronounced Azure, like pressure.
I'm going to watch that
They've got
tomorrow.
a whole YouTube video on it, I kid you not.
That's going on my watch list.
Meanwhile, everybody's warning about critical Windows Server, or WSUS, bug exploits. But Microsoft's mum. The critical 9.8 rated vulnerability affects Windows Server 2012 through 2025.
2012.
We just
Are
got
they
done
still
talking about.
using that?
We just got done talking about patching, and here's the irony: is that your patching service is now got a security issue, a CVE.
Governments and private security sleuths warned that attackers are already exploiting a critical bug in Microsoft Windows Server update services, shortly after Redmond pushed an emergency patch for the remote code execution, or RCE, vulnerability. Plus, there's more. There's at least one proof of concept attack floating around in cyberspace, and it only takes one specifically crafted request to exploit the bug for full system takeover. So we know what Microsoft admins are doing this weekend. Oh, crap, there goes another weekend.
Well, don't forget to patch your patching system. I think that's the takeaway here, right?
Yeah, but this is getting recursive. Recursive, like we're patching the patches that are patched.
Yeah. That's how the original name of the Apache web server became
Yes.
Apache because
Yes.
it took so many patches.
Yes, because it was needed a lot of patches.
We need patches of Hule in here to say
So
if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge an exploit.
Yeah. So they marketed a flaw, and it worked.
So here's the interesting
Apache.
piece.
Yes,
Real-
and it has nothing to do with
Why fix
Native
it?
American
Make money
groups
on
of the
it.
same name.
But from a serious perspective on that one,
Meanwhile, in the case of bad guys with absolutely no consideration for anyone, fake LastPass death claims used to breach password vaults. LastPass is warning customers of a phishing campaign where they're sending emails with an access request to the password vault as part of a legacy inheritance process. The activity started in mid-October, and the domains and infrastructure used to point to a financially motivated group called Crypto Chameleon. Crypto Chameleon employs a phishing kit specializing in cryptocurrency theft,
there was a
targeting
song
multiple
in that,
wallets, including Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, using fake Okta, Gmail, iCloud, and Outlook sign-on pages. LastPass users were targeted by the same group again in April 2024, but the newest campaign appears to be more extensive and enhanced, now targeting passkeys too. The last phishing emails sent to LastPass users claim that a family member requested access to their vault by uploading presumably a fake death certificate. Man, these cretins, have no regards, but, the guest speaker on the keynote yesterday afternoon probably would say, yeah, of course not.
Fair game.
I'm sorry, Kevin, I can't hear you.
Fair game.
Yeah, okay. Got to talk close to your mic.
So you just never directly respond to an email anymore. Like if you get an email or any kind of phishing, like they always tell you, go back to the source. If you think it's your bank, close the email, go over to your bank, log in directly that way. You just don't ever respond directly to an email or any link or whatnot.
So
until you
in
validate.
the consumer world, there was a group advising its retirees that they were advising that if they get any kind of thing on text, don't do anything but take a picture of it and submit that picture to the AI of your choice to see if it's real. And I thought to myself, that's actually good advice. for that group that is otherwise technically challenged?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if I would go to the AI of my choice and trust that even. I think
Oh, you mean we can't trust AI? Researchers found severe vulnerabilities in AI browser. A hype cycle as overwhelming and logic-defying as the AI boom comes with its own whirlwind succession of trends that are in their own mini-booms driven by billions of dollars of money. Once the world got used to the large language model AI chatbots, autonomous AI agents became the next best thing, or big thing, rather. This past year, video-generating models have been having their time in the sun after rapid improvements. What will be the next hot trend? So-called world models that can simulate physical environments? Hey, that sounds like the Star Trek holodeck. But for now, it's AI browsers designed to supercharge your web experience with machine learning features. OpenAI is currently trying to will this trend into existence with the release of its own web browser called ChatGPT Atlas, which it announced. It reeks of a company bereft of exciting ideas, as this totally unopinionated article can say, but if anyone can make it a sure thing, it would be the makers of the world's most popular chatbot.
Can't we go back to the more innocent times of like 50 browser toolbars?
You get about that much actual info on the screen, and it's just all toolbars.
No, it seems like the more we adopt technology, the closer we get to the place where we have to. You get an email, you got to get up from your desk and walk over to somebody else's desk and ask them if they sent it before you can do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we're going back.
We got to find a way to trust email.
Yeah.
We really do. The problem is that 183 million email accounts just got breached. Check if you're affected. The data breach tracking service known as Have I Been Pwned just added an immense collection of leaked user data. Security expert Troy.
Telling me pwned got pwned?
Well,
what is this
actually they
world
have, but that's another story. But security expert Troy Hunt just added a huge new data set to the Have I Been Pwned database containing 183 million new email accounts with leaked login details. It was collected with the help of Synethit. I know I didn't say that right. A security product that helps detect and block bad actors on platforms. Have I Been Pwned is a great way to stay on top of fresh data breaches. According to the HIBP announcement post, the data includes both email addresses and their corresponding passwords, along with the websites they've been entered into. The data was cleansed before inclusion in the database so that only unique addresses were included. This brings the total number of accounts that have been pwned and affected by verifiable data leaks to over 15.3 billion. Wait a minute. That's greater than the population of Earth.
I think we all have too many email accounts. But seriously, everybody should be doing good password hygiene, rotated on some sort of an iteration. Hopefully everybody's adopting MFA for work, but obviously even your personal communications. But yeah, haveibeenpwned.com, wonderful website. I've recommended it often. But yeah, it's funny. Year after year, I feel like we keep talking about credentials.
Yeah, year after. I mean, I'm looking at my Facebook feed earlier this morning, and it's showing the photo of this Security Friends event from a couple of years ago. And yes, even at that one, as I remember the recording for that one, we were talking about passwords then too. So you are literally correct. We're talking about passwords just about every year.
So passwords, I think we said this a couple years ago too. We can also have a moment of silence for passwords because passwords are dead, right? If you're just relying on passwords, you're doing it wrong. Also, I think the email thing is, like what you said, Kevin. What's old is new again. The old adage of don't put something in email that you wouldn't want to yell out at a public square, right? So we just have to be careful what we're putting in email. If it's confidential, then there should be forms of encryption and all that fun stuff, right? But I just assume my emails are compromised these days. I just assume a lot of my information has already been, because we've all gotten those letters. Hey, we're sorry, but we had a breach and it had your data. So you just need to assume that your data's out there now. And exactly what the gentleman said yesterday at the keynote, freeze your credit.
All three credit bureaus.
Yeah.
I should actually post a link for that, sometime. And that would be a good thing to do for tomorrow's Security Friends. Just post that link. Yeah. If you haven't already, freeze.
Yeah, I remember him saying also that children are the ones most likely to have their credit used for an exploit.
Scary.
So
I've heard that
was kind
before,
of a,
and but that's a scary realization. Again,
because we always think, oh, freeze dad's credit, freeze mom's credit. We don't think about freezing the children's credit.
Yeah, it really is part of a bigger identity theft problem. It goes beyond usernames and passwords. It really is identity.
identity.
Yeah,
And
what's
no, that is
what's
that-
the saying, Rob? Hackers, they don't break in, they just log in, right? Because they're using your credentials. So.
And speaking of logging in, China is logging in to America's critical infrastructure, according to a former NASA and retired general, Tim Haw. He's warning people. Until recently, Tim Haw was among America's top spy masters. The four-star general spent 33 years in the Air Force Intelligence and rose to lead America's largest and most advanced intelligence agency. He was also in charge of defending America from computer threats. And he was recently on 60 Minutes, rather. I'd like to have him on Security Friends, but he was not. He was surprised to hear that China would target every American with these capabilities, not just the U.S. military and industry, but also Americans in their homes.
They call it TikTok.
Ooh, could it be?
Yeah, could it be? Could it be?
They targeted water. They targeted electrical infrastructure. Transportation are examples of the types of things that were targeted. In many cases, they're vulnerable. Multiple illusions, intrusions rather, not illusions, but intrusions at utilities were discovered in 2023. And China has been on some of their computer networks for at least 5 years. So there's obviously a little insert here from 60 Minutes. So perhaps that's something that, if you're interested, you may want to look up in the 60 Minutes archives. Didn't I hear individuals say that China was knocking on their door of their enterprise every day in their workplace? They were looking at the IPs of firewall logs. It was all coming from China. That's like everybody who does that sort of thing.
Well, and just simply geo-blocking China doesn't fix it either, because they have people in every other country doing the same thing to everybody else. So it's a difficult problem to stop.
Speaking of difficult problems, hackers exploit Cisco SNMP flaw to deploy rootkit on switches. Threat actors recently exploited a patched remote code execution vulnerability with the CVE identified as 2025-20352 in Cisco networking devices to deploy a rootkit and targeted unprotected Linux systems. The security issue leveraged in the attacks affects the simple network management protocol, we all know that as SNMP, in Cisco iOS and iOS XE, not to be confused with iPhone iOS or IBM's iOS, which are totally unrelated cousins to the name of iOS, to the RCE if the attacker has root privileges. According to cybersecurity company Trend Micro, the attacks exploited in the flaw in Cisco 9400, 9300, and legacy 3750G series devices deployed rootkits on older Linux systems that do not have endpoint detection response solutions.
So Rob, let's go over to so far what we've talked about this morning. So AWS, Microsoft, Cisco. So we're LastPass. We're talking about all these major systems and companies that people are using, and we're seeing major breaches, right?
Mm-hmm. And I haven't even covered half the stories I have up here.
Yeah.
They're also known as the usual suspects.
Right, yeah, exactly, yeah. What's old is new again, right?
Also, shameful plug, I'll go ahead and announce it here. Look for a 2026 Matt Shear talk called Some Networks Manufacture Pain, SNMP.
Oh, wait a minute. Is somebody we know doing that talk?
Look for it next year, yeah.
Next year, okay. And speaking
One
of
of our
talks, I
security
know one
friends.
of our security friends is doing a talk later today, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Bush, you're doing a... That was yesterday. You have another one tomorrow, okay. We need the flux
he's
capacitor for
double-dipping
yesterday's
this year.
talk. Yes, okay. But tomorrow's talk, you're doing that. Who else is doing talks up here?
Hey, Chris, are you my security
Matt,
friend?
you're doing a talk?
Yes, I have a talk at 9:45 today called Cloud Security and Other Assorted Cautionary Tales.
Kevin?
I am doing nothing.
Oh, you're kidding.
I'm not.
You were not
No,
talking
I'm
this
not.
year.
I'm silent this year.
Kevin
Oh
is
my
just
goodness.
I'm in silent mode.
You're in
Kevin is just
silent mode.
another pretty face at the summit.
Okay. I'm doing a little talk this afternoon, so if anybody's curious, feel free to look that up.
I will be there talking about, what do you call it, the IBMI?
Yes. Yes, the redheaded stepchild of cybersecurity.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, sometimes you just want to get away from it all. Just hop in your car and drive away. But unfortunately, if it's a Land Rover, you may be in trouble. Jaguar Land Rover looking at $2.5 billion price tag from crippling cyber attack. The cyber attack on Jaguar Land Rover is estimated to have cost the UK at least 1.5 billion pounds in what is likely the most economically damaging cyber event for the country. The month-long shutdown of internal systems and production at JLR affected over 5,000 British organizations, according to an analysis by Cyber Monitoring Center, a nonprofit organization that ranks the severity of cyber events in the UK. This article from ARS Technica goes on to say the incident looks to have been, by some distance, the single most financially damaging cyber event ever to hit the UK, according to the former head of the National Cyber Security Center and chair of CMC's technical committee.
I'm not sure the hackers are their worst enemy. Their marketing department is giving them a run for their money on that, too.
That many pounds reminds me
How
of the last
fast
time I
can we
stepped on the
destroy
scale.
this company?
Well, you know, and when you talk about the stress from events like this, I mean, you know, the folks at the folks at Land Rover, according to this article by ARS Technica, are probably stressed out. And speaking of stress, go back a couple of years. We all remember SolarWinds and the event they had. The chief security officer of SolarWinds reflects on the Russian hack that exposed the government agencies, and he was saying that he lost 25 pounds in 20 days. That was what it was like to be on the front line of a global cyber attack. Tim Brown will remember December 12th of 2020 forever. It was the day the software company SolarWinds was notified it had been hacked by Russia. Brown, the chief information security officer at SolarWinds, immediately understood the implications of any of the company's more than 300,000 global clients could be affected too.
Was he the one they filed charges against for that for a while? That they brought charges against that guy?
You know, I don't remember, but I believe
they
somebody.
brought- I believe
if
they-
it was
Uber
not
was
him,
one.
it was.
Uber was once, and I think so.
Yeah,
SolarWinds
they
was
brought
the other.
charges, but I think they dropped everything.
The Texas-based SolarWinds determined that 18,000 people had downloaded the tainted product, which the hackers later attributed to the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service, were able to insert into Orion in the build environment where source code was turned into software. The news broke. SolarWinds notified the stock market before it opened on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, that would be a bad day. That would be a bad day. You know, we can always hope for brighter days when security professionals just have a stress-free environment. Anybody believe that's going to happen, where it's just going to be
No.
smooth sailing?
No.
Any believers?
No.
Well, I'm waiting for the two-day
But
work
I mean,
week.
that brings up a good point. If you are taking charge of an enterprise's security program, they call you the chief information security officer, and you're not the chief of anything, and you're not the officer of a corporation, that means you're not on their directors and officers insurance, and you're probably not in their errors and emissions insurance.
So you're very
it might be a
cynical.
good
You're
idea
very
if you
cynical
take a
about
job.
it. So, in other words, you don't believe any of this is ever going to be easy. You're of the attitude that, yeah, it'll be easy when pigs fly, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm just simply going to say we need a new cynical metaphor.
And
Because
there
pigs
you
are
have it.
now flying.
There you have it.
Pigs are now flying, so we need. You should have some hope. Pigs are now flying.
Yeah.
Pigs are
tell
now
people all
flying.
the
So
time,
we
InfoSec
need
is
we need a
hard.
new cynical metaphor.
Tell people all the time, InfoSec is hard. I should have been an optometrist.
I mean, Amazon is getting crazy with the fresh bacon these days.
Well, my friends, that concludes another live on-stage episode of Security Friends.
You should clap if this is over.
These security news stories are dedicated to all of you, information and cybersecurity professionals, the unsung heroes of information and cybersecurity. Make sure your boss knows that.
Thanks for hanging out there, guys.
Hi, everyone.
We're waiting for the key.
right, good morning, people. Well, the mic's probably off. Or now it's on. Now it's better. It's getting better every day. That's a good question. Well, welcome to day 2 of the Information Security Summit. For those that came back from yesterday, thank you very much. For those that are here just for today, or maybe tomorrow, I'm going to go through a couple announcements to kind of bring you up to speed where we're at. Somebody said, how do I get certificates? Well, let me tell you. You need to check in each day you're here at the registration desk. You check in via your Whova app, so if you don't have your Whova app, get your Whova app on, and go to the service desk, check in. At the end of the day, it's like magic. It's AI. It appears in your email box. It will say, here's your certificate. That way, when you leave, you don't have to call me for the next couple of weeks to try to get your certificate, because that's not going to happen. I want to thank all the volunteers. Without volunteers, we couldn't do this. Without our sponsors, we couldn't do this. So please take the opportunity to go out and thank the sponsors. You don't have to buy anything from them, but just thank them. And it would be nice if you make eye contact with them once in a while, so they know you're watching. But other than that, make sure you pay some attention to them. Today, in our program today, we have 2 great keynote speakers. This afternoon, we have a bunch of breakout sessions throughout the day. We got our sponsors in the hallway. We got some great food again coming for lunch. Hope you enjoyed lunch yesterday. And then tonight, I don't know where you guys get the idea from. We're not doing casino night tonight. It's in the agenda. We put it out. We're doing video horse racing. It'll be in this room, and we'll have it on the live screen. The idea is you bet on the horses. We'll explain it later, but it's going to be a fun evening. The bars will be open, and hopefully everybody can stay. What else are you going to do in Cleveland on a day where it's raining and 20 degrees? I mean, it is cold out there, right? So it's great to just be inside and learn and share and have some fun tonight. A couple of reminders. If you want to hear more about Summit Path, we announced Summit Path yesterday as our new mentoring program. If you're interested in being a mentor or a mentee, please stop at the Summit booth, pick up a pair of socks, and ask us about how you can participate in that program. Somebody from the Summit will be at that table. I don't know who at the time, but we all have the information. And last but not least, please complete your speaker evaluations. So at the end of the day or after each session, go out on the Whova app and complete that application, that evaluation. Also, there is a poll out there now for this event. So please provide us feedback on how we're doing, how the center's doing, making sure to give us the feedback on what all goes on here so we can make next year's event even better. So at this point, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Dino Saburis is the founding principal of the law firm Saburis & Associates, and his practice concentrates in the area of technology and intellectual property law. It's a long thing, and he said don't say a lot about me because he's going to be introducing himself. So I'm sure he'll tell you what he does. He's really a friend of ISS. He's been coming to this, I would say longer than I have, but just about as long as I have. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dino Saburis. Yours.
Gary, thank you very much. I appreciate the chance to talk. If we could quiet down and back a little bit, just for a courtesy for the people in front, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. I've had the privilege of being able to present here for the last 15 years, and Gary, thank you so much for the invitation. And how do I follow a group like the one before me? I tell you, it's a neat opportunity. I'm glad to be here. And I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is that America is falling in love with AI, right? But literally, I'm from Westerville, Ohio, and there's a very popular band from Westerville, Ohio that has something to say about that. Okay, we can cut it now. #1 rock album in the country.